Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS class. Let's begin a discussion on the current events of 23rd Feb 2018. The first issue in news is regarding the Hadiya case, in which the Supreme Court has recently said that courts cannot annul marriages between two consenting adults or initiate inquiry into the matter whether the married relationship between the man and woman is based on consent, thereby defining the limits of court jurisdiction in the Hadiya case, which involved a 26-year-old student who had converted to Islam before getting married to a Muslim man. This order, in essence, will stay the Kerala High Court order, which had annulled Miss Hadiya's marriage in the past. For further details on the issue, please go back and watch the monthly current affairs roundup video of the month of January. Now let's move on to the next issue, which is an editorial regarding the recent report of the UNICEF on neonatal mortality, which ranks countries according to the neonatal mortality rates. The said report is a cause of both hope and shame for India. Shameful because India is ranked behind poorer countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, and Rwanda. At the same time, the report is hopeful because the ranking shows that financial resources are not the biggest constraint in improving the health indicator, but political will is. Because even lower middle income countries like Sri Lanka and Ukraine have neonatal mortality rates comparable with that of the US, which is considered a high income economy. Also, Rwanda, a country which falls in the lowest income group, has brought down its mortality rate significantly from the 1990s level through programs targeted at the poor and vulnerable mothers, further highlighting that money matters, but it is the intention which matters more. Coming to the Indian scenario, India saw the 31st highest newborn mortality rate, but given the fact that due to the population size of India and the high birth rate, even small mortality rate can translate into numerous deaths, as in 2016, India lost around 6 lakh babies, which is a staggering number. The report further highlights some of the most powerful solutions to reduce the death rates of neonates, which includes basics like a piece of cloth to keep a baby warm, encouraging breastfeeding, stocking of antibiotics, disinfectants, etc. Further, premature birth is found to be the biggest cause of death, while the second is asphyxia or oxygen deprivation during delivery, which could be addressed by ensuring delivery in a hospital attended by trained doctors or midwives. Towards this end, government initiatives like the Janani Suraksha Yojana must expand its reach in backward states like Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Also, improvement in the female literacy rate will make a big difference to healthcare seeking behavior being witnessed in states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where the newborn deaths have been brought to fewer than 15 per thousand, thereby showing the way forward. However, improvement in education indicators is a process and is a long term solution to the problem at hand. Having said that, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding a strategic plan unveiled by the Union government with the aim of promoting greater operational synergy between various state owned companies in the telecommunication sector. The action plan covers entities like MTNL, BSNL, BBNL, etc., and the steps involved include pooling in of resources of these entities and effective utilization of human resources as well as land and buildings belonging to these entities. Under the plan, the central government intends to train and redeploy manpower for its optimum utilization, as well as it lays down a strategic roadmap to cover other areas such as standards and certification and preparing to tap opportunities in areas like 5G and Internet of Things. With that, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the recent statements made by the US government on the actions taken by Pakistan against terrorist organizations. The US government has said that the recent actions taken by Pakistan against terrorist organizations are reversible and superficial, which have been taken in the past too in periods of high pressure on the state. Further, stating that the actions of Pakistan were not satisfactory, the United States government said that the onus was on Pakistan to create conducive conditions for talks between India and Pakistan to move forward, given the concerns over raising tensions between the two nuclear armed neighbors. On the question of terrorism financing, the US official further clarified that the Financial Action Task Force was yet to take a decision on suitable action against Pakistan for failing to curb terrorist financing. Having said that, let's look into the next issue, which is regarding the strategic dialogue held between India and Canada recently, where the leaders of the two nations discussed wide ranging issues from trade and investment to cyber security to relevant bilateral and regional issues. This comes at a time where the relationship between the two countries have not been conducive, as Canada is being seen to support the Khalistani movement. To add to these tensions, there was a major embarrassment to the two governments when it emerged that a convicted terrorist and Khalistani activist from Canada had been part of the delegation of the visiting Canadian Prime Minister, who was personally invited by the Canadian High Commission. For further details on the issue, please go back and watch my previous news analysis video. The other issues in news today include the seizure of property belonging to businessman Nirav Modi and his associates by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the PNB fraud case, as well as the arrest of Rotomac director by the CBI in connection with the case of willful loan default. To look into the details of both the issues, the similarities between both the issues, and actions needed by the government to prevent such incidents in future, please go back and watch my previous news analysis video. Having said that, I wrap up today's news analysis. Do share this content if you like it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.